Steve Gamache here with another Chef Knife to Go quick look product review, and we are checking out a new line at the time of these videos anyway that Chef Knife to Go is carrying, and it is the Tojiro Color Series. This is the Petty, the 150mm version. These line of knives, they just list the steel as molybdenum vanadium stainless steel. They don't list a heat treat rating. I'm going to guess it's around 57, maybe 58 Rockwell, probably not very hard, so definitely forgiving. They call it the Color Series because they do have other handle colors available that are the safety colors, you know, the reds and greens and so on. But Mark is bringing these in and just basic, never goes out of style black handles, so that's what we've got available. And the construction is mono steel, so they don't have any cladding or layers. It's just the same steel material throughout the knife. The weight on the knife is 58 grams or 2 ounces. These have probably a stick tang in there, and so they're nice and light. This one balances right on the end of the handle. The edge length on this is about 6 inches right on the money, 153 millimeters, and a little over 10 inches for the overall length. Spine thickness coming out of the handle is about 1.7 millimeter, and it holds that until maybe about halfway down the blade, and then you'll start to see a little bit of a distal taper, and fairly thin towards the tip. Tip actually works pretty well on these. They've done a nice job grinding these knives. Handle, or I should say height, is about 29.5, so this is the lower height, what you'd call utility style petty knife versus a taller Miniguito style. So here's a close-up of the knife, and they got screened on logo. You can see Color Series, the steel name, made in Japan. Pretty nice machine finish on these. Out of the box edge, I'll give them a 5 out of 10. Reasonably decently cut bevel on them, and not a high polish, but that's pretty standard for this type of knife. Steel I found on the 210 sharpened up pretty nicely. It was no big deal, so it wasn't stubborn at all. Fit and finish is generally pretty nice on these. The only exception might be sometimes you'll get sharp edges on the spine and possibly the back of the blade at the choil. If so, you can hit it with some sandpaper if you feel the need, and it will clean up lickety-split. So a quick 5-minute job at most. The handles on these are really nice. They've got just real no-nonsense handles, but they've got a bit of a texture to them and a slight give to the surface. They're not real hard, and so you get a lot of grip with these handles. Lots and lots of grip. The on the board, again, this is not a high petty at the heel or a tall petty at the heel, but here's your board. Look at it, and you can see it's just kind of a gentle curve throughout, not much flat spot on this. Flows pretty nicely though. The profile is nicely done, and I can get about right in there before I start digging the tip in, which is plenty high for typically what you're going to do with something like this. If you don't find you've got enough clearance, you could always move it off to the side, off the edge of the countertop, and move off to the edge of the board, and then give yourself loads of clearance. And a lot of people do it that way with knives that don't have a lot of hand clearance for the board. These might make really nice knives if you have culinary students entering culinary school, friends, family that don't treat their knives very well and aren't really into knives and want something inexpensive but reasonable performing that's not a bear for you to sharpen. If you sharpen them, keep an extra knife or two around for guests to use so they don't mess up your nice higher-end knives if you have those. So there's a number of good reasons to possibly have some of these around. So just a nice line that Mark had brought in. So this is the Tojiro Color Series in basic black, petty 150mm.